Go for it.
How you hold it up as a Destiny 2 player?
Well, not great. Not good. Actually very bad, if I'm being honest. Yeah. So, that's about the best I can explain it. I don't fully understand to a degree, like I know they have quote unquote officially stopped working on the Beyond, like the year after, their Frontiers project, that's what they called it. They've stopped working on that.
I was under the impression that the final shape was like the conclusion of the story of Destiny 2.
So it was the conclusion of the story that has been building up since the beginning of Destiny 1.
Okay, so it sounds to me like this is just it's been a fucking bumpy ass road, but it sounds to me like this was the decommissioning of Destiny 2 just kind of sounds like the logical conclusion.
Well, but that's the thing. They kind of had set it up like, oh yeah, we want this game to be something that you come back and play, even if there's not a whole lot of new content, kind of deal.
Yeah, they repeatable content and stuff.
What?
Yeah.
How did you find me?
MMO type thing.
Bother.
You
will not leave here alive.
With your friends. And
that's not a good idea. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, I know, but that was kind of what they wanted to do. They wanted to make this expansive story and world. Obviously there were glaring problems from the very beginning, because there was a lot of stuff that they, maybe shouldn't have done. That, having content that went away after a while, or sunsetting a bunch of weapons. Which, yes, in the final shape, they did basically, undo that. But, that was 4 years of weapons, almost, that ended up going off the radar for another 4 years then, basically.
Here's the thing, right? I recognize the desire to make... Here's the things that I don't understand, right? And help me out here, because you're a lifelong Destiny player, right?
Yeah. I've played since the game basically launched, so yes.
I played Forsaken. I played Forsaken back before, back before they brought out Shadowkeep.
Yeah,
basically. So, from what I hear, my hunter is considered free, noob or whatever. I am technically an OG, even though, I bought Forsaken at a steep discount 6 months before Shadowkeep was announced.
So it's kind of hard to explain here. So I'd ask what console you played it on, or did you play
PC.
it on? You played on. Oh, so you had BattleNet then when it was on.
It was on BattleNet. But the reason I bring that up is so I can at least establish some level of credibility, because obviously I am streaming. Obviously, I'm gonna make this a segment. But
I get it.
I want to at least establish some level of credibility, so I'm not completely shitting on people's favorite game. And I'm not, because here's the thing, and this is I've said this at length. Destiny is one of those games that, on paper, should be my favorite game of all time.
Oh, it is, no! Here's something. And it's a sentiment that a lot of the Destiny community, whether it be simply Destiny 1 or Destiny 2. I hate Destiny 2, or I hate Destiny. It's my favorite game.
Yeah, it's you guys take the same approach as League players do to League, or Ruby fans to the show Ruby.
I mean, kind of. To a degree, it's like there's the level of people who are like way too competitive with it, way too like try-hardy with the game.
Right.
And you're gonna get that everywhere. You're gonna get the
In
people
any game.
who are like...
You're gonna get people who play Factorio who are like sweaty about it.
No, yeah. And it's like the Destiny 2 competitive like side of the community is the most toxic.
Right.
Just plain and simple.
Well, that's like, any MMO. That's I have 5,000 hours in the Elder Scrolls Online. I have been I have walked amongst the Sweat Lords. I have fought amongst the scrub haters. Like I've been in groups where I've seen people get kicked for
You're too late.
Not
you
a good enough DPS class. Like, I get it.
But that happens in Destiny 2 as well. If you're not keeping up with DPS, well, sorry, you gotta go because you're doing this thing and you're not doing it the way we want you to do it.
It's one of those things to me where it's one of those things to me, and like this is kind of like more broadly like kind of what I wanted to talk about, like. I feel like I like MMOs. I have, like I said, 5,000 hours in the Elder Scrolls Online. I love Borderlands. I love looter shooters.
Looter shooters are really good.
And I like deep, interesting, vast lore in universes. Like it's the trifecta. I would be in this. You know what I mean? But but the problem is that
it's the execution.
I did not play from jump.
So
and here's what I mean by that, right? Every time I hopped back into Destiny after a handful of months or whatever and tried, maybe I'll give it another shot, I get immediately yeeted into a prologue mission for some bullshit that I'm not familiar with. I don't know what's going on. I see characters I've never seen before, or have seen before, haven't seen in a while, and then I end up dealing with, and then I'm like in an encounter where I'm like, oh, I'm getting curb stomped, and it's and I when I leave and try to just like say, oh, like I'm just gonna go play, like the gameplay loop of Destiny 2 is like the way they did it before. You had like your boring, campaign-y like feeling things like they did with Witchcreed, which I'm aware of. You just grind shit out in the same area for a little while. And then, because here's the thing, right? Like, I played Forsaken. And so you understand where I'm coming from. I played the Red War, then I played Osiris, and then I played Warmind.
Yeah.
And then I played Forsaken. I basically went through all of the DLCs.
So like vanilla Destiny 2 to then do all the stuff in Forsaken.
Correct. And I did that. I did it all in order. And because like I'm a believer in sometimes, like a lot of times, like there's a concurrent story you get in MMOs that you can only get by doing the content in order. I'm aware of this because my character I have invited friends to play Out of the Line, and the story that they have narrative wise is very much different from mine. Like there is a specific narrative that I get of after doing everything in order that other people just do not get to have. I get lines of dialogue that other people do not get to have.
Kind of the same thing happens with Destiny at the end of the day, because you get if you've been playing since the very beginning when Destiny 2 came out back in 2014. You get the whole, like, quote-unquote veteran dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's very different
God
than
forbid,
the
and God forbid you imported, I'm pretty sure the people who imported their characters from Destiny 1, that's even better.
Yeah, you do get a lot of, like, references, like, so in the Red War campaign at the very beginning, if you have a character from Destiny 1 that played during Rise of Iron, which now at this point in Destiny's timeline, Bungie has all but said that Rise of Iron never happened, for the most part. Like, they have basically made it that Rise of Iron didn't happen. Or that what did happen is small bits of, like, lore that we're not even talking about anymore.
Yeah, it's not even consequential. Yeah. It's... I feel like Yeah, go for it, sorry.
But, like, if you had a character from Destiny 1 that you brought to Destiny 2 that played in the Rise of Iron DLC, when you first meet up with Shaxx after coming into, you know, the destroyed tower and the besieged city, you get dialogue from Shaxx, and he's like, "Young Wolf," which is something from the Rise of Iron.
Little throwback.
Yeah. But that's the only reference to the Rise of Iron that we have gotten since.
So
approximately 3 times a week I have unprotected sex with your mother!
I did not mean to do that. My apologies.
I mean, damn.
That's my entrance sound. I don't know why I did that. Anyways, so here's the thing, like, I kind of, like, feel, like, I kind of think, like, I'm looking at, like, a franchise that I've been, like, mildly intrigued in lore-wise, kind of intrigued in, like, mechanics-wise, but just, like, it's just, the payoff, like the dopamine hooks never got into me. And I'm looking at, like, a player base that has spent a decade of their lives playing this game, this franchise, and I'm seeing Bungie make this contradictory decisions, and I want to kind of get your let me spiel for a little bit. I kind of want to get your opinion on it, but if that's okay.
No, yeah, go for it.
So the first thing I want to note is that as far as Destiny is concerned, you know, they have 2 ways to go about this. They can go the way of, like, persistent MMO, like new content being generated, like as far as, like, you know, like repeating events and stuff, but nothing like quote unquote new story wise. It's just static, and this is just where we are now. That's fine. Or the other, you know, which is what they say they want to do, but then they do shit like not support PvP, like, at all.
Or like you don't get new PvP maps for like fucking 3 years.
Or balancing at all in PvP.
Yeah, that.
The second thing I want to note is that what they should be doing is there are games that have done this before that they should look at to be a model. Guild Wars 1 is a good example of this. Guild Wars 1, I don't know if you know Kaya, but for those watching, was the predecessor to the current Smash MMO, Guild Wars 2, which is, I would argue, a better MMO than World of Warcraft in possibly every way conceivable. Maybe even better than Final Fantasy XIV. Possibly. Don't quote me on that. And Guild Wars 1 was a drop-in, drop-out kind of, like, you are in the main towns, these are social areas where people can come in, you can see other players, and then when you leave the town and go on expeditions, it's just you or whatever group you have. It is a very D&D-esque, you're playing through the campaign of the game. It is a very cooperative kind of nature thing. And here's the problem I had, and that would be a great thing to do. Like, they have tons of content. You can start a character, meet players at different levels and stuff all throughout it, and, you know, and, like, get to an end game where there's like solid raids, generated content. You know, plenty of games have done this model where they have, like, you know, they have put their game on life support, but there's plenty of content at every stage to sort of, you know, as a progression to get to the end game, where the end game has, like, you know, fun. Diablo 3 is a good example of this. Maybe not great, but, like, a good example where once you get to, like, max level and you start, like, knocking out your Paragon levels and stuff, your Paragon levels continue to go in ad nauseum. And then you have higher and higher levels to infinity to continue grinding out more and more damage and getting better loot. The gameplay loop is infinite. Like, there are plenty of ways to have a game that is on technical life support be viable. The problem is that Destiny 2 does not have the infrastructure behind it to make that work. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that what they should do is they should have every single expansion, every single expansion, go out like you start with the Red War, you go through the Red War, then Osiris, then Warmind, then Forsaken, and then Shadowkeep and X and Y and Z, and all the way until you get to the final shape. But if I start a new character on a new account, that should be the playthrough. Yes, I recognize that certain areas change in between different things. Have those things be sectioned out for people as you progress through. Because here's the thing, I don't give a the fact that so much lore and important things were wrapped up in seasons is another glaring issue.
Yeah, and that those seasons are no longer accessible.
Right, so I as somebody how can I as a new player become invested in the lore of this game, in the story of this game, if I'm going from how the fuck do you get from
Point A to point B.
How do you get from the Witch Queen to fucking Cade being back at the final shape? What the hell is going on?
Yeah, if you didn't play any of Lightfall and didn't play any of the seasons, you'd have no idea what's going on.
Exactly. So ultimately,
they kind of. I guess here's the thing: they kind of go into it when you do the side missions with Aldrin and Cade. But
let's be so fucking for real. It's not the same, and it's not as impactful. Ultimately, if they want Destiny to continue to have community and continue to succeed and continue to generate revenue from it through their microtransaction shop, they're going to need to get new players. And the only way you're going to be able to get new players for a game on life support is if the path from new player to veteran player is defined and playable. There's
and everyone can experience the same thing that everyone has already experienced.
Correct. The Elder Scrolls Online had this issue for a long time. Then they implemented their Zone Finder. When you pick a place to spawn, and then there's a mechanic that you can click a button and it'll tell you, "Hey, I'm lost. I don't know where the next story beat for the story missions are," and it tells you.
No, yeah. Here's the thing that I kind of speculated this happening in Destiny before Final Shape drop.
Right.
I had speculated this for a while, and it obviously didn't happen. Could happen post Final Shape, but we don't know for sure. Is that because we still don't have any of the worlds that were taken when the Black Fleet made Planetfall during Season of Arrivals. We don't have any of those worlds back except for Mars and Titan, I guess. But so we don't have Mercury, and we don't have
Venus?
God, what was the no, Venus wasn't. We don't have Io. Being the moon of Jupiter that we had ended up going to at one point. And so the thing with that's really frustrating is we have all of these different areas that were taken by the Black Fleet prior to us, ending the Black Fleet in season of in the Final Shape, in the Final Shape campaign. Because when we defeat the Witness, we defeated the Black Fleet. Plain and simple.
You have ostensibly defeated the darkness.
We have defeated the personification of the darkness, because the Witness is to the darkness what the Guardians are to the Traveler. No, what the Guardians are to the Traveler.
Oh, okay. Understood.
Because the Veil is the primordial being of darkness, whereas the Traveler is the primordial being of light.
Got it. Okay. So ultimately,
and that also comes into a very confusing thing as well.
I think ultimately Bungie is now not the same studio. Bungie hasn't been the same studio that made Halo 1, 2, and 3 in decades.
Oh, absolutely not.
And they aren't even the same studio that made Destiny. or Destiny 2. Like the amount of churn that has happened in that studio, Bungie is just a name now, and so I think that the people working there who it is a very normal thing when you are working at a place and you've been working on legacy code as a developer for a long time. You want to build some new shit. You want to build something new. And so I think ultimately that is what's is happening here with why they're working so much on Marathon, as opposed to Destiny, because like they Destiny 2's done. Like there's no this is the culmination of a decade long storyline.
And with the episodic content that has been dropping after we've defeated the Witness. The thing with this is that it's really frustrating because it's like we heard basically so after this there's not going to be new content because we're cutting that kind of outlet. So we're worried that does that mean that all of the episodes have already been like worked out and like fleshed out and everything's ready for us by the time like it's going to release, or like what's going on? Are we just going to get this one episode after, which is Echoes, or are we going to get more beyond that, the stuff that we were promised?
I think just to put a lid on it, because I've been snoozing Twitch ads for like 3 times now, and Twitch wants their bag, and I don't want anybody watching this live to like miss any of the content. I think to put a bow on it, I think ultimately, I'm hopeful that the people at Bungie are intelligent, or do this intelligently in the sense of I think make it. There needs to be some level of cross out between from beginning of Destiny to the final shape, where the game and stuff makes sense. Like if you buy the game as a new player, you can play through all of the content that has been available, and in a way that makes sense. You need to have you do need to have a small team dedicated to PvP balancing, because PvP is a huge aspect of life supported games' ability to stay fun and relevant. And lastly, I think what they need to do is that as far as PvE is concerned, they need, especially once you beat final shape, there needs to be a thing where loot drops just kind of go crazy. Like, I'm not saying that you need to have drop 5 or 6 legendaries or whatever, or exotics from like that boss. But I am saying is that there needs to be a higher quantity of blue, of green, blue, and purple things dropping. Like you can keep the exotic drop rates the same, but there needs to be it's loot. Like take a leaf out of Borderlands book and do loot explosions. Once you've beaten the Witness at the end of the game, you get like a medal or something for your service to mankind, and that medal, after beating the game, allows you to generate a shit ton more loot, and then you have like a Diablo-esque type, maybe implement a Diablo-esque type of feature where whenever you are in an instance with people within a certain number of that level, enemies will become more difficult. Enemies will have, but they'll also drop more loot, and so you just have like that infinite grind, and that's how you can effectively have that level of that infinite content without them. Like if they had like those 3 aspects, consistently balanced PvP with good skill-based matchmaking, a concurrent, make all the content concurrent and playable and solo / personal or whatever. And make it and add a Diablo-esque Paragon type of system at the end. Once you beat the Witness, at the end of the game, and have beaten all the other content, I think it would be good. That's a great model. I don't know if they have the willpower or desire to do it, because obviously they're putting all of their manpower on.
They would also have to port everything from Destiny 1 into Destiny 2 if they.
I was just talking about just Destiny. I was just talking about just Destiny 2.
No, so you're talking about like Red War up to the Witness.
Correct. I'm not
Okay.
expecting them to import everything from Destiny. I'm not.
I was gonna say, yeah, that would be more of like a pipe dream at this point.
Yeah, that's a pipe dream. What I'm asking for is a reasonable business plan to keep the longevity of Destiny 2 alive. Importing everything from Destiny 2. But yeah, that's. Do you have, before I cut the recording, before these ads go live, do you have any other notes you want, like anything you want to say about wishes that Bungie would do, and like please save your game?
I really hope that once, if we still get all of these episodes that we were promised post Final Shape, being like episode 1, which we are in, Echoes, we're supposed to get episode 2, which is oh god, why can't I remember it? Either Revenant or Remnant. I don't remember for sure.
Remnant 2.
And then we're supposed to get episode 3, which is called Heresy, which has to do with the Hive. If we are still getting all 3 of those, which, I mean, we've already gotten episode 1, but if we keep getting on top of that, I would very much like to see them bring back the entirety of the, vanilla Destiny 2 story.
Like a remaster.
Because it's like, or like, make it optional DLC, so that if you want to, you can, but you don't have to.
Makes sense. Thanks, Kaya, for coming on and chat with me. I appreciate you.
Yeah. I'm glad that I got to chat and hang out, and also, parallel play Wizard 101, because
Yes.
I have also been...
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching. If you want to talk to me outside of this video, outside of live streams, or just join the community and be a part of it, you can do so at himedia.gg/discord. Discord links there. We'd love to have you. And given the financial situation of the economy right now, I know this is a tall ask, but if you have the scratch to spare, please consider donating and becoming a supporter at himedia.gg/tip. All of our perks are serviced through our Discord channel, including early access videos, exclusive videos, and more. Your generosity is a blessing, and $1 a month is a boon to my mental health. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you, and have a great day.